When we talk about the Greek gods, we all know the usual father of the gods, Zeus, god of the sky, or Poseidon, god of the sea. But what if I told you there are far greater gods in Greek mythology? Have you ever wondered how they became the well-known gods they are today? To answer this, we have to travel back far in time. Let's get into it. In ancient times, the world's origin was shaped by several primordial beings. It all began with Chaos, who was the first primordial god of space, and Gaia, who was a god like the earth. They were joined by Eros, who represented love and bringing things together. From Gaia and Chaos, Uranus was born. He was the first god of the sky and heavens. Uranus and Gaia had children called the Titans, who were like powerful gods. But Uranus detested his own children and locked them up deep within the earth. Gaia, the earth, was very sad about this. So she forged and gave her son Cronus a powerful sharp tool called a sickle. Cronus hid and waited until Uranus came close to Gaia. Then he used the sickle to do something very bold. He cut off the private parts of Uranus, his own father, and released his brothers and sisters from imprisonment. This changed things a lot because it showed that the younger generation could defeat the older generation. Cronus then married his sister Rhea, and they had important children like Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, and Hades. But Cronus was scared. A prophecy was written about him predicting that his own children would take away his power. So every time Rhea had a baby, Cronus swallowed it whole to stop this from happening. He kept the baby gods trapped inside him. Rhea, heartbroken by the loss of her children, sought the aid of her mother Gaia, who took pity on her. Gaia hid Zeus after he was born on Mount Ida in Crete, where he grew up in secret until he was strong enough to challenge his father. When the time was right, Zeus confronted Cronus and defeated him in a great battle, compelling Cronus to vomit out his once swallowed children. This act initiated the war between the younger generation of gods and the older generation of Titans, a conflict that raged on for 12 long years. Eventually, Zeus released the Cyclopes and the hundred-handed giants, who had also been imprisoned by Cronus, and they joined the battle on Zeus's side. Grateful for their freedom, the Cyclopes bestowed upon Zeus his famous thunderbolt, Poseidon his trident, and Hades a hat of darkness, which greatly tipped the balance of the war in favor of Zeus and his fellow gods. The Titans were defeated and cast into Tartarus, a prison deep within the underworld. With the Titans defeated, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades decided to divide their rule among them. Zeus became the ruler of the sky, Poseidon the ruler of the seas, and Hades the ruler of the realm of the dead. Zeus, as the king of the gods, held his throne on Mount Olympus, commanding the weather and often using his symbols, the thunderbolt and eagle, to guide or warn mortals. He was also a protector of both households and strangers, and ill hospitality towards guests could bring severe consequences. Zeus married his sister Hera, who bore him several children, including the gods Ares and Hephaestus. Yet Zeus was notorious for his numerous affairs with other goddesses and mortal women, from which Athena, Hermes, Apollo, Artemis, and Persephone were born. Hera's jealousy often led to wrathful actions against Zeus's offspring and their mothers. Poseidon, as one of the most potent gods, ruled over the seas, causing earthquakes and being the patron of horses, highly prized in ancient society. Sailors had to appease Poseidon with prayers and sacrifices to ensure safe voyages, as crossing him could lead to dire consequences. Hades was the oldest of 3 brothers in Greek mythology. He was in charge of the underworld, a place where the spirits of people who had died lived. Imagine it like a different world beneath the earth, where souls went after they left their bodies. Getting into the underworld was not easy. It had lots of guards and challenges. It was hard for both living people and the spirits of the dead to enter. To reach the underworld, souls had to cross a dangerous river called the Styx. There was a guy named Charon who acted like a ferryman. He helped souls cross the river, but they had to pay him a special coin to do so. Souls that couldn't afford to pay were condemned to wait forever on the shores of the Styx, for eternity. So, when people were buried, they used to place coins on the eyes of the deceased to make sure they could pay Charon to cross the river. After crossing the river, there was a scary three-headed dog named Cerberus. He guarded the gates of the underworld to make sure no one got in or out easily. Once souls got past Cerberus, they faced three judges who decided what would happen to them. These judges looked at the person's life and deeds. Depending on what they had done, the judges sent them to different places. There were 3 places souls could go to after being judged. Imagine these like different types of places to live in after you die. Elysium was like a heavenly place where good people went. It was a peaceful and happy afterlife. The fields of Asphodel was an ordinary place for average souls. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. Tartarus was like a terrible prison for really bad people. It was a very unpleasant and punishing place. But enough about the underworld. Let's continue with Hera, Zeus's sister and wife, who was revered as the protector of marriage and women, commanding great respect in Greek society. However, she was also known for her vengeful and spiteful nature, punishing those who engaged in affairs with her husband and any resulting children. Athena, the wise and fierce goddess of war and wisdom, had a little bit of an unusual birth. She emerged fully grown and wearing armor from Zeus's forehead. This happened after he swallowed his pregnant wife, Metis, fearing her child would overthrow him, just like his own father Kronos did earlier. Athena often helped heroes such as Perseus and Hercules and showed particular favors towards Odysseus, assisting him on his journey home. Ares, the bloodthirsty god of war, was not admired by gods or mortals alike. His warfare was characterized by brutality and primal rage rather than heroic honor and valor. Aphrodite was the goddess of beauty and love. There are different stories about her birth. In one, she came from Uranus's private parts, and in another, she was Zeus's secret child. She had love affairs with both gods and humans. Her decision in an event called the Judgment of Paris caused the famous Trojan War. Hermes was the messenger of the gods and liked playing tricks. He wore a hat and shoes with wings so he could move really fast and swift. He delivered messages for both gods and people. Artemis, the twin sister of Apollo, was the goddess of the hunt and the wilderness. She was a deadly archer and watched over both hunters and their prey, ensuring the balance of nature. Apollo, Artemis's twin brother, was a god of many things: light, music, and prophecy. He was linked to the Oracle of Delphi, a place where people sought advice from the gods. He helped heroes on their quests. Demeter was in charge of farming and crops. She loved her daughter, Persephone, very much. When Hades took Persephone to the underworld, Demeter was sad. Her sadness caused the changing of seasons, causing winter when her daughter was away, and summer when her daughter was reunited with her. Dionysus, the god of wine and revelry, had a reputation as the most fun-loving of the Olympians. He was followed by frenzied women called Maenads and half-goat men called satyrs, and his cult had wild and ecstatic celebrations. Hephaestus was the god of smithing and craftsmanship. He faced challenges because he was born with a limp. However, he became a great inventor and crafted various items for gods and heroes. Greek mythology portrayed a diverse array of gods embodying both positive and negative aspects of humanity. Their timeless stories continue to shape human culture and thought, leaving an enduring impact on our understanding of the world. If you're intrigued by the tales of gods and their incredible adventures, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel.